وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Respected elders and brothers, last week, alhamdulillah, we finished the Tafsīr of Surah Al-Ahzab. Today, inshallah, we will start Surah Saba, and this is the next surah in order, surah number 34. And Saba takes the name from a place, a city in Yemen. And inshallah, we'll talk about it, the verses that are coming. So, Alhamdulillah, alladhi lahu ma fi samawati wa ma fi al-ardi wa lahu al-hamdu fi al-akhirah wa huwa al-hakim al-khabir. So many of the surahs in the beginning talks about the greatness of Allah Azza wa Jal, the tasbih of Allah, the glorification of Allah Azza wa Jal. And it begins the surah with a lot of fundamental beliefs that we all have. Because the Quran is a reminder. And so that's why the surah begins with the praise of Allah Azza wa Jal. All praise is to Allah. Alhamdulillah. Alladhi, the one who, lahu ma fi samawati wa ma fi al-ard. To him belongs whatever is in the heavens and whatever is in the earth. Wa lahu al-hamdu fi al-akhirah. And for him is the praise in the akhirah. The hamd for him will be in the akhirah. So in this world, unfortunately, there's a lot of people who believe in other than Allah. And they praise other things besides Allah. And they praise other things with Allah. But in the akhirah, the true and only praise will only be for that one true Lord and Allah, right? So, وَلَهُ الْحَمْدُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ. His praise in this world and in the akhirah, the hamd and praise will be for him. All these other deities and gods and statues they worship, they will all be lost. No one will be able to help anyone. So, وَلَهُ الْحَمْدُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ. وَهُوَ الْحَكِيمُ الْخَبِيرُ. He is the Hakim, the wise, al-Khabir, the one who is all acquainted and knows about everyone's conditions and situations. يَعْلَمُ مَا يَلِجُ فِي الْأَرْضِ. He knows that which goes into the earth. The people that pass away, they're buried on the earth, or the seed that's planted in the earth. Anything that goes in the earth, Allah knows about it. وَمَا يَخْرُجُ مِنْهَا. Anything that comes out of it, Allah knows about it as well. He knows every single leaf that falls down from the tree. He knows every single creature, every single animals and land, sea, creatures that are under the oceans as well. And that which comes out of it. وَمَا يَنزِلُ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ. And he knows that which falls from the sky, comes down from the sky. وَمَا يَعْرُجُ فِيهَا. And that which goes up. And every single thing. This is just examples, but Allah Azza wa Jalla is the knower of all things. وَهُوَ الرَّحِيمُ الْغَفُورُ. And he is Ar-Rahim, the compassionate, Al-Ghafur, the most forgiving. وَقَالَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لَا تَأْتِينَا السَّاعَةُ. And those who do kufr, those who disbelieve, they say, لَا تَأْتِينَا السَّاعَةُ. The day of judgment is not going to come. The day of judgment is not going to occur. It's not going to happen. Right? They don't believe in the hereafter. This is one of the fundamental articles in faith of our aqidah. Yes, someone is blocking the driving. Please, brothers and stuff. قُلْ, say, O Prophet ﷺ, Bala, of course, وَرَبِّي, by my Lord. Wa is for qasam, وَرَبِّي, by Allah. لَتَأْتِيَنَّكُمْ. It will definitely come. It will definitely come. عَالِمُ الْغَيْبِ, by Allah who is the knower of the unseen. There's no doubt about it, it will come. لَا يَعْزُبُ عَنْهُ مِثْقَالُ ذَرَّةٍ. Not even a peck of dust or an iota of something is hidden from him. فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَلَا فِي الْأَرْضِ. Neither in the heavens nor in the earth. وَلَا أَصْغَرُ مِنْ ذَلِكَ. Nor smaller than that. وَلَا أَكْبَرُ. Nor bigger than that. إِلَّا فِي كِتَابٍ مُبِينٍ. Except that everything is in a book already recorded from before. So why does Allah Azza wa Jal will make the day of judgment occur? لِيَجْزِيَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. So that He can repay and recompense and reward those who did good. أُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمْ مَغْفِرَةٌ. For them will be forgiveness. وَرِزْقٌ كَرِيمٌ. And a noble sustenance, rizq, which is Jannah. وَالَّذِينَ, the other opposite party. وَالَّذِينَ سَعَوْا فِي آيَاتِنَا. Those who strived against our verses. They worked hard to put down the religion of Islam, whether it's people who are atheists, don't believe in Islam, or politicians, or wherever it might be, who try to intimidate the believers. وَالَّذِينَ سَعَوْا فِي آيَاتِنَا. Those who strived against our verses. مُعَاجِزِينَ. Trying to make it weaker, trying to intimidate people. For them, أُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمْ عَذَابٌ. For them is a punishment, مِنْ رِجْزٍ أَلِيمٍ. That is full of pain. Alim is painful. And rijz is very ugly, unpleasant. وَيَرَى الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْعِلْمَ الَّذِي أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ مِنْ رَبِّكَ هُوَ الْحَقُّ. And those who have been given knowledge from the non-believers, the people of the book, the Abdullah ibn Salam and others, they were given knowledge of the Torah and the Injil. They have some knowledge of that when the Prophet ﷺ came. So they see that الَّذِي أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ, that which has been revealed to you, مِنْ رَبِّكَ هُوَ الْحَقُّ, that is the truth. They see what's the Quran, whatever the message the Quran brings. Those same scholars of the Torah and the Injil, they believe in it, they see it, and they know, and they confirm what's in it. Right? The story of Yusuf alayhi salam and all the story of all the Anbiya, the Prophet narrating them in the Quran, they know that this can be from nowhere except from Allah Azza wa Jal, because the stories are the same. وَيَهْدِي إِلَىٰ صِرَاطِ الْعَزِيزِ الْحَمِيدِ, and this book, it guides to the straight path, the path of the Aziz al-Hamid, who is Allah. وَقَالَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا, and those who do kufr, they say, هَلْ نَدُلُّكُمْ عَلَىٰ رَجُلٍ, should we show you a man? When people used to come for Hajj, during the time of the Prophet ﷺ, there were those who used to tell them that, listen, you're coming from outside, you don't know, there's a man in this village, in this city, his name is Muhammad, he's going to tell you all these weird things, he's going to tell you you're going to be resurrected, he's going to tell you all of these things, don't listen to him, he's crazy, he's majnoon, right? In what fear? They used to think that if these pilgrims that are coming from outside, they end up believing, accepting the message of Muhammad, they're going to leave the religion that they're already on and accept that religion that Muhammad came with. What would that do? That would affect their economy. The Meccans, they take money from all these people that come, right? So they, out of that fear, they used to tell them that, listen, don't listen to this guy. He's going to tell you all of these things. It's just things we never heard of, and he's just crazy. So أَفَلَمْ يَرَوْا إِلَى مَا بَيْنَ أَيْدِيهِمْ وَخَلْفَهُم مِنَ السَّمَاءِ وَالْأَرْضِ, have they not seen what is in front of them and what is behind them from the heavens and the earth? إِن نَشَأْ نَخْسِفْ بِهِمُ الْأَرْضِ, if you wanted, we could have made the earth swallow them. If you wanted, we could have made the earth swallow them. And we see earthquakes where the earth splits up, it splits open, just like Allah did to Qarun, right? أَوْ نُسْقِطَ عَلَيْهِمْ كِسَفًا مِنَ السَّمَاءِ, or if you wanted, we could have dropped down a piece of the sky, right? Whether it's a meteor, a rock that's in the space. If it hits Earth, Earth is gone. That's what scientists tell us, right? If something, an object that's this small, if it's going in the speed of orbit, it has the energy of a SUV, right? That's how powerful things are when they reach that level of speed. Like something this small has that effect and energy of an SUV. Right now, there's about more than 500,000 satellites orbiting around Earth. 500,000 satellites that are orbiting Earth. If any of those crash or collide into one another, it can cause a huge accident and a problem in the space, and that can obviously affect all of us. But Allah says, don't they not see around them? If we wanted, we could have brought something down from the sky and just finished it all up. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَةً, verily in that is a sign, لِكُلِّ عَبْدٍ مُنِيبٍ, for every abd, for every slave who turns to Allah. وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا دَاوُدَ مِنَّا فَضْلًا, and from here Allah Azza wa Jalla starts talking about Dawood alayhi salam and Sulaiman alayhi salam, and then the city of Saba. So Allah says, وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا دَاوُدَ مِنَّا فَضْلًا, verily Allah Azza wa Jalla says, we have given Dawood some bounty, some gifts. What were some of those things? Dawood alayhi salam was a prophet and a king at the same time. You don't get that very often, right? That's a very big fadl. Someone who's very, mashallah, he's pious, and at the same time he has a lot of wealth, right? So that's a fadl, that's a bounty. That's one of the things Allah gave him. Among other things, Dawood alayhi salam also had a very beautiful voice. He had a very beautiful voice. One time Abu Musa al-Ash'ari radiallahu anhu, he was reading very beautifully, and then the Prophet ﷺ said, لَقَدْ أُوتِيَ مِزْمَارًا مِنْ مَزَامِيرِ آلِ دَاوُدَ, he has been given the voice from the beautiful voices of the family of Dawood. And Musa al-Ash'ari was known to have a very beautiful voice. So Dawood, he had a loud voice as well. When Dawood alayhi he used to do tasbih, and remember Allah Azza wa Jal, even the mountains used to do tasbih and glorify Allah Azza wa Jal with them. We don't know how mountains speak, right? Everything has their own languages. Dolphins, they communicate with one another as well, with their sounds and whatnot. So every single creation has their own way of communicating and speaking. So we don't know what the speaking of the mountains are. But Allah said, Ya Jibal, O mountains, awwibi ma'ahu, repeat after, and with Dawood, and repeat after him, and do tasbih with him as well. What tayr, and even the birds. When Dawood alayhi salam used to do tasbih and recite, even the birds used to stop by, and they used to also chirp, and they used to also do tasbih of Allah Azza wa Jal. So these are some of the things Allah says, some of the bounties we gave to Dawood. وَأَلَنَّا لَهُ الْحَدِيدِ, and we melted, made soft for him hadid, which is iron. We made hadid soft for him. And there was no need to put it in the fire and hammer it and mold it. You should just take it and mold it like it's thread, like it's cloth, and shape it however he likes. Right. أَنِعْمَ السَّابِغَاتِ, instructing Dawud alayhi salam to make what? Sabiqat. Sabiqat was body armor that they used to use during war. It's not just any type of body armor, but it was small little chains that used to cover the whole body. And they were able to move a lot more than those plated armor. Before this, they used to wear armors that were made of plates, big chunks. They couldn't move that easily. But when it's like small chains and the whole body is covered up with that, they're able to move more. So he was able to do this because Allah Azza wa Jalla gave the power to melt iron. Ani'mal sabiqat, make body armor for the great army that he had. وَقَدِّرْ فِي السَّرْدِ, and these armor, these things that you're making, make them proportionate to one another, make them beautiful. Another tafsir of قَدِّرْ فِي السَّرْدِ means son of Dawud alayhi salam. He also had a lot of bounties and gifts from Allah Azza wa Jalla. One of those things was وَلِسُلَيْمَانَ الرِّيحِ. Sulaiman alayhi salam, he had the wind. Sulaiman Airlines, some scholars say. He was able to fly wherever he wanted, whenever he wanted. And Allah Azza wa Jalla subjugated the wind for Sulaiman alayhi salam. وَغُدُوُّهَا شَهْرٌ. In the morning time, he was able to cover the distance of a whole month, just in one morning. You know, nowadays, if you do 48 miles, then we can do qasr of our salah, right? So how many days does it take to travel 48 miles? It was actually based on 3 days and 3 nights, right? So if it takes 3 days and 3 nights to travel 48 miles, then in 1 month, a person can travel over 10,000 miles, right? So that's like from New York City all the way to Indonesia, right? So in 1 morning, he's able to travel that much. But nowadays, even with our fastest technology that we have, it would take 15, 16 hours. So anyhow, in the morning, he used to be able to travel the whole month, journey of a whole month. وَرَوَاهُ رَشَارٍ, and similarly in the evening, he was able to travel the journey of a whole month. وَأَسَلْنَا لَهُ عَيْنَ الْقِطْرِ, and we flowed for him a fountain of copper. And this is a fountain of copper from which copper started coming out. And some scholars say this is the first origin of copper, where copper came out from. And some say no, this was only for Sulaiman alayhi salam, where he used to be able to get copper and provide it to his army and everyone that worked for him. Jinns and shayateen that were under the instruction and the command of Sulaiman alayhi salam, they used to work for him. وَمِنَ الشَّيَاطِينِ مَن يَغُوصُونَ لَهُ, and there was just some shayateen that used to go dive into the sea and bring out pearls and jewels and rubies for Sulaiman alayhi salam. They're all under the command of Sulaiman alayhi salam. So وَمِنَ الْجِنِّ مَن يَعْمَلُ بَيْنَ يَدَيْهِ بِإِذْنِ رَبِّهِ, and from the jinnat, from the jinns, there are those who used to work for him. And it's coming what they used to make for him. And that's why he was able to complete making Bayt al-Maqdis in Jerusalem, the grand mosque, one of the harams, one of the 3 sacred places. Dawud alayhi salam started it, and Sulaiman alayhi salam completed that work because he had that huge manpower with him, the men's and jinn. So they used to work for him. وَمَنْ يَزِغْ مِنْهُمْ عَنْ أَمْرِنَا نُذِقْهُ مِنْ عَذَابِ السَّعِيرِ, and whoever used to disobey and turn away from the command of Allah, Allah used to punish them. يَعْمَلُونَ لَهُ, they used to make for him مَا يَشَاءُ, whatever he wanted. مِنْ مَحَارِيبٍ, from big sculptures. Big maharib is sculptures. Nice, beautiful things. وَتَمَاثِيل, and tamathil is statues and chinas and those things, nice things that we have at home, but big, they used to make for him as well. وَجِفَان, and they used to make big bowls and sinks, كَالْجَوَاب, as reservoirs. وَقُدُورِ الرَّاسِيَاتِ, and big pots. Qudur is pots, rasiyat is huge. They used to make all those big things for him. because obviously he had a big manpower and they should all feed off from that one session of cooking. And then Allah Azza wa Jalla told them, "I'malu ala Dawood shukra." Oh, a family of Dawood, do shukr. Right? Allah Azza wa Jalla didn't say shukr, say alhamdulillah. He said, "I'mal," do with your amal. There's different types of shukr. Right? One is with your heart, one is with your tongue, and one is with your actions. That's the greatest type of shukr, is when you do shukr with your actions. "I'malu," do shukr, oh family of Dawood. Right? If someone in your family, if your elder does something nice for you and they've been doing something good for you your whole life, and then they come and ask you, "Can you give me a glass of water?" Right? You say no. Like, that's being ungrateful, right? So the biggest type of being grateful, sign of showing grateful, is when you do it yourself, when you do it with your action, right? So "i'malu ala Dawood shukra wa qalilun min ibadiy ash-shakur." Allah says there's very few of my slaves who are grateful. فَلَمَّا قَضَيْنَا عَلَيْهِ الْمَوْتِ, when we decided death for Sulaiman alayhi salam. When Sulaiman alayhi salam passed away, all of these jinns and shayateen, they were working under Sulaiman alayhi salam. And so Sulaiman alayhi salam passed away, and no one knew that Sulaiman alayhi salam passed away. These shayateen, they just kept on working continuously with hard effort and struggle and labor, thinking that Sulaiman alayhi salam, who is the prophet, who has power over them, is still alive. It's like if you go to work and you see your boss far away, he's sitting in the office, you don't even look at him. You just see he's there and you go to work and you work, right? And when you're leaving, you see him there as well. You might be thinking, this guy comes so early and he leaves so late. You don't question anything, right? So like that, they used to see Sulaiman alayhi salam sitting in his throne and never used to question anything. Why is he there early? Why is he going late? But they used to just continuously toil and work. They used to claim, the jinnas, they used to claim that they know the unseen, right? The jinns, they used to claim that they know the unseen. So when this happened, Sulaiman alayhi salam passed away. مَا دَلَّهُمْ عَلَى مَوْتِهِ, nothing indicated to his death. They didn't know about his death. إِلَّا دَابَّةُ الْأَرْضِ تَأْكُلُ مِنْ سَأَتَهِ, except for some insects and termites that was eating away his staff, his stick that he was leaning on. When they ate most of it, that thing broke and fell, and Sulaiman alayhi salam also fell. And then they were able to realize and see that Sulaiman alayhi salam passed away. And they're like, we were just working all of this time out of fear that he's alive. And this also proved that they didn't know the unseen. Because فَلَمَّا خَرَّ, when he fell, تَبَيَّنَتِ الْجِنِّ, it came clear to the jinn that لَوْ كَانُوا يَعْلَمُونَ الْغَيْبِ, if they knew the unseen, مَا لَبِثُوا فِي الْعَذَابِ الْمُهِينِ, they wouldn't have stayed in this punishment that they were working day and night. And people knew that these guys, they're fraud. They just claim to know the unseen, but they don't really know the unseen. And we have, even nowadays, we have a lot of psychics. You pass by Hillside, you see a store, psychics, they know the unseen, right? But it's not. One guy went to a psychic, and he was reading his palm or whatever to know the unseen in the future. And then while he was talking, the person who went, he hit him, he smacked him. So the psychic said, why'd you hit me? Why'd you smack me? He said, I was just testing if you know the future. If you knew the future, you would have blocked this man. You wouldn't have done this. So that was some couple of verses about Dawood alayhi salam and Sulaiman alayhi salam. There was a city, while Dawood and Sulaiman was alive, there was a city in Yemen called Saba. And in that city, there was a queen, right? Her name was Bilqis. And in that city, they had a lot of wealth. They were living luxuriously. Allah gave them everything. They had a lot of wealth. And that whole story is in Surah An-Naml. But it comes here. Surah met her, and she accepted Islam later on. Anyhow, لَقَدْ كَانَ لِسَبَأ فِي مَسْكَنِهِمْ آيَةٌ. The city of Saba, they had a great sign in their dwellings. A great sign from Allah Azza wa Jal, which was that they had a lot of vegetation, fruits and trees and gardens and rivers. These were all from the provisions of the ni'mah and the fadl of Allah. جَنَّتَانِ عَنْ يَمِينٍ وَشِمَالٍ. They had two gardens, one on the right, one on the left. And they lived in a valley, and they had gardens, big, huge gardens on both sides. They used to feed off each one the entire year. They had no need to work and whatnot. Like some countries, if the citizens don't work the whole year, and the country, whatever the money the country gives them, they'll be able to live off that the whole year. Like Norway, there's only 5 million people that live there. If they gave all the money they had to every city, every citizen they had, they would still have millions and billions of dollars left. They have so much resources. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? So, and now, even now, like every month, every citizen of Norway, they get like a good amount of money. That's why some of them don't even work. I used to have a roommate, he was from Norway, and he just never used to work or anything. He said, I go home and my country just gives me money, you know. So this is a ni'mah and fadl, because they have so much resources, aql and intellect and the productions that they sell off to other countries. So they're very wealthy. So something like that, a country like that, a city like that, Saba, they had everything, you know, even if they didn't work, they were able to live off the gardens they had and the fruits and the vegetation they had. Why do we work? Because we want to feed ourselves, right? What if in my backyard I had everything I wanted? I wouldn't go to work probably from next week, right? So Jannatani an yamin wa shimal. They had gardens left and right, meaning they had gardens everywhere, everything they asked for. Allah all asked them, Kulu min rizqi rabbikum, eat from the bounties and the rizq of your Lord, washkuru lah, and be grateful to Him. Not too much to ask for, right? Baldatun tayyibah, a beautiful land that's full of fruits and vegetation. Wa rabbun ghafoor, and a Lord you have who's forgiving. If you make any mistake, ask Allah for forgiveness, He will forgive you. Simple instructions, right? But what did they do? فَأَعْرَضُوا, they turned away. They, you know, a lot of times ni'mah becomes a fitna for people, right? As long as we're in need, as long as like we have some sort of poverty with us, we will remember Allah. But sometimes when it goes away, that need goes away, we turn away from Allah. That's why one of the two main reasons why people become atheists is because of money. When money comes to them, because they feel like I don't have the need for anything, for a superior being that's in the heavens, that's protecting me. It's my money, I have all of it. Why? So one of the two main reasons that people become atheists is money. So they had everything they needed. فَأَعْرَضُوا, they turned away from Allah Azza wa Jalla. فَأَرْسَلْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ سَيْلَ عَلِيمٍ. So what do Allah Azza wa Jalla do when people ungratefully sends them punishment? So they used to have a dam. You know, dams are where waters are reserved, right? So Allah says, فَأَرْسَلْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ, we sent upon them the flood of the dam. It was a land that was full of green and vegetation. What does that indicate to? That it used to rain a lot. And the rain that they used to get, a lot of it they used to store and reserve. So when they turned away, Allah Azza wa Jalla caused a lot of more rain that collided and destroyed that reservoir they had, and that came and flooded the entire city. So فَأَرْسَلْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ سَيْلَ عَلِيمٍ, we sent upon them that flood of the reservoir. وَبَدَّلْنَاهُمْ, and those two gardens that they had, we changed them بِجَنَّتَيْهِمْ جَنَّتَيْن, with two other gardens. But what kind of gardens those were? ذَوَاتِ أَقْلٍ خُمُطٍ. These gardens, they started producing bitter fruits. أَقْلٍ خُمُطٍ means bitter fruits. وَأَثْلٍ, turmeric, as these are some trees and bushes you find in the deserts. وَشَيْءٍ مِّن سِدْرٍ قَلِيلٍ, and some low trees. These are all things that are found in the desert. Just yesterday, these gardens were full of beautiful trees and fruits and gardens. When they turned away from Allah Azza wa Jalla, Allah sent them that flood that destroyed all of their cities. And after decades, all those cities produced was just bitter fruits and things that you find in the desert. Like Australia, they say that millions of years ago, it was all forest. It was all green and luxurious. But now, 80% of Australia is desert. There's only few, the geography of Australia. Most of it is desert. That's why you have all these kangaroos. They all live in the desert. And just like a month ago, it wasn't raining in Australia for a long time. And it rained. People were so happy. Right? So perhaps, just like that, these people here, once their land was full of green and vegetation, but then it became a desert. Who knows, maybe some Anbiya were sent in the land of Australia a long time ago. And they disobeyed Allah and their land became desert as well. So a similar situation. It was once full of vegetation and fruits, and then it became a desert. And Yemen is now mostly a desert. ذَلِكَ جَزَيْنَاهُمْ بِمَا كَفَرُوا, we did that to them, Allah says, because they did kufr. وَهَلْ نُجَازِي إِلَّا الْكَفُورِ, and do we treat people like that, in that manner, except for the kuffar, those who do disbelieve? وَجَعَلْنَا بَيْنَهُمْ وَبَيْنَ الْقُرَى. Inshallah, just a couple of more verses, just two more verses, inshallah. And Allah says, وَجَعَلْنَا بَيْنَهُمْ. He's continuing to mention the amount of blessings and gifts they had. So وَجَعَلْنَا بَيْنَهُ وَبَيْنَ الْقُرَى. When they used to travel from Yemen to Syria for business reasons, Allah, after every couple of city, there was another city. They only had to travel like half a day, and then there was another city. So what that did is that they did not need to carry with them a lot of provisions, a lot of food, a lot of things. Because when you're traveling in the desert, people go in caravans, right? Every single camel carrying a lot of loads and food and water. They didn't need to do that. There was a city right out one after another. And the distance wasn't much far from one another. So whenever they should travel, they said, let's go. I don't really need anything. Let's just go. And they used to go, one city after another, they used to come. They used to sleep and they used to take midday naps. They used to relax. So that's a blessing from Allah Azza wa Jalla. He's mentioning, وَجَعَلْنَا بَيْنَهُ بَيْنَ الْقُرَى الَّتِي بَارَكْنَا فِيهَا. And we placed between their city and Sham, قُرًى ظَاهِرًا, prominent cities. Cities that were there, they can just go and relax. They all knew each other. وَقَدَّرْنَا فِيهَا السَّيْرِ. And we allocated the travel of time between those cities. Right? So it's just like now, if you had to travel from here all the way to, let's say, California, there was nothing, no cities, no stops, no gas stations, nothing in between. How much stuff we would have to take with us, right? We would have to take maybe barrels of gas, more gas than the car and the stuff that we have to take with ourselves. So anyhow, this is just an example. That they didn't have to take much things with them. They had a lot of cities in between. So that's just more of ni'mah of Allah Azza wa Jalla on that city. And we told them, سِيرُوا فِيهَا لَيَالِيَ وَأَيَّامًا آمِنِينَ. We instructed them, you can travel in those cities, layali at night time, وَأَيَّامًا, and daytime, آمِنِينَ, safe. Nothing that's going to come and harm you. فَقَالُوا, they said, رَبَّنَا, oh our Lord, بَاعِدْ بَيْنَ أَسْفَارِنَا. These travels that we have, just half a day, we get another city, we don't take anything with us. Make these travels longer. You don't want to travel so short and take rest, make it longer. The reason why, because the wealth and the money that they had, they wanted to show off to the people on the way. But they couldn't take anything with them, because why would you need to take all of these things with you? You have a city right there. You don't have to take much things with you. It's just like, when do people take out their jets and private jets? When they have to travel somewhere really far, right? But if they don't have to travel anywhere, they won't take it out. They'll just use Uber or like a regular car. It doesn't really show their wealth that they have. So they were asking that make our travel longer so we can bring with us our army and our horses, we can show off to people, right? So that's what they're doing. فَقَالُ رَبَّنَا بَاعِدْ بَيْنَ أَسْفَارِنَا. Make our travel longer. وَظَلَمُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ. And they oppressed themselves. فَجَعَلْنَاهُمْ أَحَادِيث. We made them into stories. We destroyed them, and later on people just speak about them. Oh, there was a city called Saba, and this is what they did. It just became a story. They were non-existent. Allah destroyed them, annihilated them, because of their ungratefulness. وَمَزَّقْنَاهُمْ كُلَّهُمْ مَزَّقْ. And they destroyed them completely. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِكُلِّ صَبَّارٍ شَكُورٍ. Verily in that are signs for every person who's patient and every person who's shakur, who's grateful. Inshallah, we will stop here.